What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to be doing a full review of the Ontario Rat 2 in D2 steel. I know that I said I wasn't going to do a review of this knife, but I got to thinking about it and I was like, here, this is one of the most popular, if not the most popular budget folding knife of all time. And I wasn't going to review it because I did the larger one and then showed this in kind of an overview. That's kind of stupid. I really think that this thing deserves, a full review and, much due respect to the knife itself. So I'm going to go over this real quick here. So this model is hovering around the 7-inch overall mark. I believe it's just under 7 inches. Let's do a comparison here with the Manix 2. Try to get it pivot to pivot here. The Manix 2 is about 8 inches overall. So if we get the butts lined up here. Yeah, this is very close to a 7-inch overall folder, which makes it excellent for a light everyday carry option. I don't know the exact weight, but I'm going to say this thing hovers just under 3 ounces, probably something like 2.8 ounces. You've got roughly a 3-inch blade, probably a 2.75-inch cutting edge. So this is one of those knives, just like its larger counterpart, where the handle is much larger than the cutting edge. Some people view that as a flaw, and some people, like myself, actually view that as kind of nice, kind of a way to control the edge, because there is some space here to put your finger. While it's not a complete choil, I would prefer that and sacrifice some of the blade length for some added control for some of the finer cutting tasks you might use it for. So the reason that this knife is so popular is, number one, the cost. This knife is a very well-built folding knife in the budget category, or as I would call it, the beater category, at about $35, I believe. Of course, you're going to be paying some shipping, so round that up to about 40 bucks. Anywhere between $35 and $40 is probably what you're going to find this for online. Lots of variants. I've seen, if you look at my other videos, you've got the Coyote tan, you've got green, you've got black, you've got carbon fiber, you've got, I think they even do a gray one. Pink, and there's weird stuff out there, but you can have your pick. This is a liner lock knife, and the special thing here, part of what makes it so good, is of course the D2 steel. And D2 is generally not a steel you're going to see in this price range. It is not a completely premium steel, but it is certainly an excellent steel for the $35 range. I'm used to seeing D2 steel around 80 to, well, truthfully, you'll see D2 steel all the way up into customs, but, it's a generally acceptable steel in the $80 to $150 price range, and so it's really exceptional to see it on a $35 knife. It is not CPM D2, which is, as I've mentioned before, is a totally different monster, but it's plain D2, which is proven to be an excellent steel. I might be wrong on the total chromium content of D2. I want to say it's somewhere between 8 and 10%. It's not quite a stainless steel, but it's got enough in there to where even if it was not a coated blade, which, by the way, this isn't a DLC coating, it appears to be more like paint, but in any case, it's not totally necessary to have D2 steel coated because it's got enough corrosion resistance without being stainless to defend against potential corrosion. And it's got pretty good edge retentive qualities, and it's got pretty high toughness. So it's kind of a very, it's not perfectly well-rounded, but it's a steel that is designed to handle a multitude of different types of tasks. It's not the easiest thing in the world to sharpen, but it will hold an edge long enough to justify it. Lots of positive things out there about D2. I recommend you go read for yourself and decide if you want the D2 version of this or the standard AUS 8. In my opinion, D2 is way better for the small amount of money you pay in difference. I want to say the AUS 8 version of this is $28 and the D2 is $35. So, I mean, in my opinion, $7 for D2, absolutely, 100%. Handle materials, I went over this in the Rat 1. A lot of people think that this is G10. It's not. It's nylon or plastic, which is just fine. I don't know if it's glass reinforced or fiberglass reinforced nylon, but whatever it's made out of, it's probably durable enough to stand up to tasks that you would reasonably throw at this knife. The liner is made out of steel. I mentioned this in the larger one. The right side is a 420J2, which is a budget steel, but it is not. They're not making the blade out of this, so it's perfectly suited for the frame. And then the locking side of this is actually hardened, which is appropriate for engaging the tang of the blade. You can see here this one's locking up pretty late. It's around 80% in my light, but that's pretty normal for a liner lock in this price range. There is no blade play, up, down, left, right. The blade is centered on this one, and the action is phenomenal. Even better than the larger one. This thing has excellent action. Just using my thumb here, you can see not much effort, and even you can even flick it in reverse. Not that that's totally necessary, but yeah, you know, the blade's not going to free fall, but it certainly is smooth. It's going to do the job. Ergonomics are great. With this larger handle on a smaller knife, you can actually get a full purchase on it. I don't know how heavy you're planning on using this smaller one, but if you need to, you know, hammer grip it like that, you can. Blade design and the shape of the knife is pretty ugly in my opinion, but that is kind of a price you pay for really good ergonomics. You can see the thumb ramp here and the jimping on the knife serve for a very secure grip. You, of course, have this area right here where my thumb's contacting that serves as kind of a choke-up position for your pointer finger up here. You can hold it like that. It's just like I said on the other one. I wish that it was a choil because it looks like there's room for it to be cut like an actual choil, but it's not, so whatever. You can't expect too much in this price range. But let's talk about the differences, why somebody might choose the smaller one over the larger one. The bigger one is really big. It's like 8.6 inches. And, you know, for a lot of people, they don't really care. But that's not a friendly knife for office carry. Or, you know, if you're the type of person who doesn't use a folding knife for like super hard tasks, you don't have a job where you're outside, you've got more of an office position, or maybe you just don't use a folding knife all that much and there's no need to have a super large blade. This thing is perfect. In fact, this is kind of the EDC or everyday carry size and weight range that is extremely preferable to most people. Sub 7 inches, around a 3-inch blade, and under 3 ounces. There's a lot of people who are real nitpicky about what they carry, and they need it to be small enough that they don't notice it, but it's substantial enough to get the job done. You know, if your job, you know, requires you to occasionally cut some boxes, rope, paper, you know, light materials like that, then this is an excellent knife. It's a thin carry knife, doesn't take up a lot of room in your pocket. It's got a thin profile, thin blade stock. It's got an excellent blade steel for the money, and it's got an ergonomic design. I mean, you really can't ask for much more in terms of an everyday carry item. Also, whether you're left-handed or right-handed and you have different carry preferences as far as tip up, tip down, this is very accommodating. You have the this standard position, which is right hand tip down. You can of course switch it to right hand tip up or left hand in the same positions because the holes are drilled all the way through. So that's super awesome. I love that. The pocket clip design is perfect. It easily goes in and out of the pants. I'll demonstrate that real quick. One-handed. You've got that nice divot there. Get your thumb back here, pinch, pull out, deploy, use, retract, and put away. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. This thing is amazing and 100% deserving of the reputation that it has online. I don't know how long this thing has been hailed as like the best EDC budget option, but it is very much deserving of that. You know, if you're on the fence about this, you're considering, you know, should I buy this? Should I just have this kind of beater knife? You know, even if this isn't a beater, let's say this is like going to be your primary everyday carry for years. This makes an excellent option. There are knives that you could pay more money for that you would get more out of and would be made out of more premium materials and that are, I would say, better than this. But man, if you've got, let's say you're looking to spend a maximum of $70 on a folding knife. I can't think of a knife that I'd rather have in my pocket than the Rat 1 or Rat 2 for under $70. And keep in mind, this is only a $35 knife. I can't honestly recommend something more than this knife in terms of what you're getting for that amount of money. And I think that's incredible. I mean, to compete with knives that are literally double the cost or nearly double the cost of this, it's amazing. You know, this is a flat ground blade. So you've already got a thin stock. It's like 0.09, right? And then you've got the drop here towards the cutting edge starts all the way up at the top. There's no weird angle up here. It's just a full flat ground blade and thins out real thin to the blade. And so there's nothing really to cause the blade to slow down when you're cutting through material. And that sounds kind of silly, but really, if you're cutting things semi-constantly with a folding knife, it's kind of obnoxious to have hang-up. If you've got some wonky design in the blade, this one doesn't have anything really to catch on the material as you're cutting through. So it just it does its job, and then it goes back in your pocket, which I really, really appreciate. I am a big fan of simple designs, knives that are designed as tools, which is exactly what they are, and nothing more than that. This thing does the job that it's designed to do, and I really appreciate that. I also appreciate that the thumb studs on the smaller model, as I pointed out in previous videos, are the same exact size as the larger model. So if you have medium to large size hands, you're not going to have an issue getting your thumb in there to contact the thumb studs. It's always going to deploy, which is great. I really can't say enough positive about this knife. This is highly, highly recommended, and given all the different options you have for it and just how overly friendly this design is, this is the ultimate lightweight budget EDC knife. There is nothing that I would choose to have in my pocket in this price range over this knife that I'm holding right here. If you need a more substantial knife for heavier cutting tasks, the bigger one is a great option in that price range. But if you're looking for a light carry knife and you're on a budget, in my opinion, there is nothing else that I've ever handled or ever seen that I'm more interested in than this. I've never been so impressed by an inexpensive knife. This is not really a coating. This is owned by someone else, and he's been using it just a little bit. It's pretty new, but you can see the paint's already kind of wearing off there. You can see on the spine. That's not a big deal. The coated or it's not really coated. The painted or unpainted version of this knife is perfectly fine. Choose your preference. This thing is sure to last you a long time and serve you well for a long time. And it should be easy to take apart, despite there being quite a few body screws. It should be easy to take apart and maintain, and just do exactly what it was designed to do for a really, really long time. So thumbs up for this knife. It's absolutely perfect. I don't know that there's anything that I could really change besides where there should be a choil, but you can still get your finger in there. You can still do this. Excellent. Thumbs up for me. Perfection in a cost-efficient, friendly package. So I just wanted to make sure and do this thing justice and go over this today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, for those of you who have subscribed, I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that. I know I say that a lot in my videos, but in the early stages of this channel and getting going, and just knowing that there are people who care to watch my videos, that just means the world to me. So if you want to be a part of this, please subscribe and turn those notifications on, and tell me what you think in the comments section. I say that a lot too, but I love seeing comments. Even if someone's like, dude, you're annoying, and I didn't really, like hearing you talk, but the rat's a good knife, or I don't like the knife, or, whatever you guys want to say. If you want to talk in the comments section, I'm going to respond to it and talk with you guys, and I'm never going to come down on somebody for having an opinion that is different than mine. So in any case, please check out my other content, because there are, of course, reviews I've got of either expensive or inexpensive knives that I do or don't like. And if you enjoy all that content, leave a like on those videos, subscribe to my channel, whatever you guys want to do. But in any case, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you all have a great rest of the day.